Good morning, friends and enemies. This is the Week 6 Q and Assault live stream. I answer as many sit-start questions as I humanly can for y'all. Let's just jump right into the questions. AOC, how we doing? Let's eat. Half PPR, pick one. Jaylen Warren or T, as well as full PPR, Dobbins or Bill. Let's check it out. As always, we'll be using our trusty tool for us, Warren and T. I want to say I probably have Warren ranked significantly higher. Why are there no player props coming through? Lies. There are player props coming through. So Jaylen Warren obviously has the most difficult matchup against Cleveland. Coming off of the bye, though, he should be relatively healthy. I've got Warren up at 43, Higgins down at 69. I think with Higgins, I still want to see it with Joe Flacco. Like, I like that the floor is probably elevated. It's still a tough matchup. I think he'll take some shots, T. Higgins. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a good game, but ultimately, I think I prefer the floor of what Jaylen Warren can give us here. As you can see, his lines are much higher than T. Higgins in almost every aspect of the game. So we've got Warren over T here. Now let's move to the second question, which is Dobbins or Bill. I want to say, I mean, they're both great starts in my opinion. I probably have Dobbins higher just because that matchup is just beautiful. Actually, I mean, they both have great matchups. Jacory, Krosky, Moret. Yeah, I've got Dobbins 22 overall, Jacory at 38 overall. Both really good matchups, both expected to have really good games. Both are probably going to score a touchdown, so honestly, flip a coin there. Just a good problem to have. Morning, ladies. Right back at you. Big girl. Got a nasty one for you, Nick. Yo, the nastier, the better. This is Freakville over here. We got half PPR. We got Sharb or Haskins. That one, I want to say I probably have Haskins ranked a little bit higher. As RB2, yep. I've got Haskins over Sharb, not by much. I've got Haskins at RB31, Sharb at RB34. Love the matchup against Miami. Jacksonville's been a tougher defense, ultimately, for both the pass and the run here. I mean, their lines are really, really close to each other. 38.5 rush for Haskins, 37.5 for Charbonnet. Ultimately, I think they both have pretty low floors. I think they're both probably in for 10 to 12 touches, around 40 to 50 yards. Maybe one of them breaks a big play. I'm looking at Haskins the same way I was looking at Gus Edwards last year, where, like, he's a shell of himself. I mean, Haskins is in his prime, but he's just a shell of a player relative to other NFL running backs here. So I do like Haskins a little bit more to Sharp just based on matchup and the opportunity that I think he'll probably get on the goal line here. Next question. Same player. We've got Olave, Ridley, or Tyquan Thornton at flex. I mean, that's Olave for me. I don't even need to look at the numbers. We don't got to look at the numbers, Ram. Full PPR. We got BTJ or Carter. For me, I'm pretty sure. Listen, if it's my team, it's going to be close, but I still think I prefer Brian Thomas Jr. here. Very, very close. Wow. Okay. BTJ at 39, Carter at 41, wide receiver 19 to running back 20. Overall, I just kind of like what I saw from Jacksonville against KC. I do think they're turning the corner a little bit. I think it took a second for the team to, like, understand Liam Cohen's designs, why they're doing certain things. I think Brenton Strange not being there also is very impactful for the target floors of all these players. Let me pull up the injury report for Seattle's secondary as well. Practice report. Should have had this pulled up. Apologies. Practice report. Week 6. Nope, don't go to the emojis. I just set up an iPad next to my computer, and it is not the greatest. Honestly, the iPad as a product for Apple is so disappointing relative to all the other fucking products that they have. Okay, so Devon Witherspoon did return to a limited practice on Friday after 2 DNPs. Julian Love returned to a limited practice after 2 DNPs. And Reek Woolen is still in the concussion protocol, but all three of them are actually listed as doubtful. So it doesn't look like they're going to fire up, which I think is a huge boost up for a Jacksonville team. Good environment here. Yeah, just 2 solid plays, in my opinion, 2 solid flex plays, but I would personally lean BTJ there. Standard league. Start 2 wide receivers. So we got Devontae at Baltimore, George Pickens at Carolina, Rome. Yeah, I mean, this is just like... this is just a flex. You're going to be fine here, regardless of which way you go. I think they're like the wide receiver 6, 7, 8 right now. Like, love all of them. I would say maybe the 2 tiebreakers you want to use here are like Devontae Adams at Baltimore. The weather is supposed to be pretty shitty there. So if you don't want to wait on that game happening and depend on the weather, happening in that game, then I could see that way. The other thing with George Pickens is he's likely to get shadowed by J.C. Horn. So if you want to use those as tiebreakers, that's fine. But I honestly think trying to pick between these three is kind of just a waste of time. They have all three good matchups, three really good top 10 players. If Jamar is out, would you then take T instead? Yes, I would. Not expecting Jamar to be out, though. Illness. You very, very rarely see players miss games with illnesses. Full PPR, pick 3, Jalen Warren, Dowdle, Derrick Henry, and Michael Carter. Ooh, it's going to be a close one. I mean, Dowdle for sure is in there, so I won't even put his numbers up on the screen. Henry and Carter. So it's probably going to be the first three. I guess we'll put Rico up here just out of pure respect for the GOATs. Yeah, I mean, we're talking Rico's numbers are up in Derrick Henry territory at this point. It's got the best matchup versus the Dallas run D. Rushing yard line is up at 72.5. Derrick Henry's at 75.5. He obviously has a little bit of a juice factor on the receiving yards here. So these two are clearly in their own tier, both by my rankings and per Vegas lines right now. Then you got Carter and Jalen Warren, who, again, flip a coin. They're very, very close together. My running back 20 and running back 21. I guess my one holdup with Warren, I guess the reason that I would lean Carter in the tiebreaker is the fact that he is coming off of the injury, and Kenneth Gainwell played well enough that we might see a little bit of a closer timeshare here in Pittsburgh. And of course, they're playing against the Cleveland run defense, which is elite here. And Carter, on the other hand, might see less of a timeshare with DeMarcado being a bum on the goal line. What up, Niner? Full PPR, start one in a flex spot. Travis Hunter versus Seattle, Mason Taylor versus Denver, DeMarcado, Isaiah Pacheco, or pick up Ryan Flournoy. Yeah, I mean, this is a really tough one. Not a lot of options that I love. I will say, like, Pacheco's probably off the table for me. He doesn't get any goal line touches. DeMarcado, I don't know how I can, genuinely tell you that he's a good start after what he did on the goal line last week. And then I don't love the Jets traveling across seas and Mason Taylor playing against Denver. But that being said, it's still hard to trust Travis Hunter. Like, I like the Jags game kind of, getting a little bit better, and I had a feeling that he was going to be ranked a little bit higher than Mason Taylor. Though Ryan Flournoy is not a bad pickup. If you want to get a little bit risky, he's my third ranked player out of the three. Travis Hunter, wide receiver 43. Flournoy's at wide receiver 52. The one thing I will say that he does have going for him is if J.C. Horn shadows George Pickens, Dak will likely, again, have to look elsewhere and could end up being a big day for Flournoy. But as you see, per the Vegas numbers as well, 34.5, 33.5, 3.5 receptions. Travis Hunter is a little bit more of a bump. I do think Travis Hunter might have the lowest floor out of these three, which is kind of weird to say, but it's a good environment. Again, if Seattle's secondary is really banged up like they are saying they're supposed to be, I actually want to confirm that on Twitter that those guys are doubtful, because usually returning to a limited practice would put you on pace to at least be like a game time decision. But if those three are doubtful, again, Seattle's secondary is super fucked then. Seattle released their final injury report. Team is once again going to be shorthanded in the secondary. Yeah, all those guys are doubtful. Tariq Woolen doubtful. Devon Witherspoon doubtful. Julian Love doubtful. So yeah, secondary extremely banged up in this one. So I would expect Trevor Lawrence to pass the ball a lot and them having enough relative success there. So I personally, I'd probably lean Travis Hunter. But if you need upside, I really don't hate the Flournoy play, but I do think it's probably getting a little bit too cute. Mikey, baby. How we doing? You got a great mustache, dude. I think, at least. It looks like that from my angle. I want to do a mustache. I don't think it would fit my face very well, though. Like, I have a lot of facial hair, obviously, and, like, maybe it would work, but I'm, like, too nervous because it's one of those things, once you go to the mustache, you can't go back to the beard. Like, you got to wait for it to grow back out. So, like, maybe it would work really well. It would either work really well or horribly, and I'm, like, a little bit too much of a coward to try it. What up, girl? Full PPR, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, tight end, 2 flexes. Current lineup, Drake May, good start. Genty, better start. Dobbins, we are getting spicy here. Pickens, Igbuka, McBride, Adunze, JCM. Do I start London over anyone? Playing against Puka and C-Mac, upside would be nice. Oh, my God. You have a great team. I really want to get London in my lineup because Darnell Mooney is probably going to be out in this one. Let me see if we have any extra updates because they're playing Monday night, so we would be getting the full report later than most other teams. Don't see Darnell Mooney at practice today 11 minutes ago. So he's not going to be out. He's not going to be playing most likely, which means Drake London is in line to have about 1 billion targets in this one. Anytime Mooney's out, he's almost a minimum 12 target game. And it's against Buffalo. The over-under is like 50 plus points. Josh Allen on turf indoors is going to be a literal featured film. So I want London in my lineup. Who I'd play him over? You got your 2 running backs. Pickens, Igbuka, I mean, they're top 6, top 7 guys. Dunze's a top 10 guy. I hate to sit JCM because he's hot right now and he's coming off of such a good game and he's got a great lineup. This is another one where it just feels like I don't think you're going to go wrong in any direction. But I'm quite positive I'm probably going to have Ja'Cory Krosky-Moretz the lowest. But, like, I don't want to sit him. Especially, I think Chris Rodriguez is actually trending towards not playing either, which means Ja'Cory could go full workhorse on us. Yeah, Rodriguez has been back to bike DMPs here. Maybe we go crazy. Like, oh, God. This is just such an embarrassment of riches. I don't even want to answer your fucking question, Mike. Maybe you sit Dobbins for JCM because Dobbins doesn't catch passes out there. But the matchup is so good. I don't know. Maybe you start London over JCM. I think your lineup's going to be fine. You have a great lineup. You have top 10 guys everywhere, every position, everything, everywhere all at once. What's that fucking movie? Full PPR, 14-man. That was the least helpful answer of all time. I'm sorry. Whatever. Figure it out. Figure it out, buddy. Full PPR, 14-man. I'm 2-3. Would you trade Bucky and or CD or hold and hope they can turn it around? Yeah, I think they're going to be fine when they're back. I mean, 14-man, obviously you don't have a lot of depth, so you might need to move. Honestly, you probably waited way too long for CD. If you were going to, like, you knew CD was going to be out 4 to 5 weeks. At this point, you might as well wait 1 more week to get him back. Like, the smart move would have been if you were winning games and you needed to move CD 3 weeks ago. Otherwise, you're just going to get it back and he's going to be CD Lamb. So I'm not overly concerned about him. Bucky, maybe you move him to the Rachaad White owner, or if you are the Rachaad White owner, then cool, just put him in your lineup and you're fine. I would be much more open to moving Bucky, though by the time Bucky gets back, their offensive line should be at near full strength. So, like, he's not really a guy I want to move right now, but I get it if you're really lacking depth right now in a 14-man league. Hello, Nicholas. Hello. I am not going to attempt to say your name. Nothing good will come from that. Pick 2 players for both my flex spots: Golden, Juwan, Bond, and Tongus. Ooh, a little Tong action. I don't hate Tongus at all. Golden, I want to say just off the rip, we're probably going to have Golden and Bond as the 2 highest guys, but I don't think Tongus will be too far behind. Oh, look at that. 87, 88. And then Juwan is probably a little bit behind. Okay. So you got a bunch of guys here with a bunch of green and back-to-back. So I got Golden, wide receiver 45, Bond, wide receiver 46, Juwan, tight end 17, Tongus, tight end 18. So I'll make the cases for all of them. Golden coming off of the bye. A lot of times you see post-bye rookie bump. They're playing Cincinnati. Should be great game script. That being said, this could be a game by halftime where they're just using Josh Jacobs entirely. Isaiah Bond is getting more acclimated to the offense. We didn't see good chemistry between him and Gabriel, though. Even though the targets are there, the catchable target rate is bad. That usually comes back down to earth eventually and will even it out. I will say Pittsburgh will be with a full secondary for the first time since week 1. Getting Ramsey back, getting Joey Porter back, Deshaun Elliott. Like, they're getting a lot of their pieces back, which they haven't had for a while. So I'm actually expecting Pittsburgh to play a lot better defensively than they've played most of the season. Juwan Johnson is now obviously, Taysom Hill's out there. Juwan Johnson's kind of fallen off a little bit, though I do think he'll have a bit of a bounce back. And then Jake Tongus, of course, is just filling in for George Kittle with Ricky Pearsall out. Does sound like Juwan Jennings is trending towards playing, so a little bit more target competition. I think he's got a very low floor. So Golden would be my 1. And then Bond is 2 in my rankings here, but I don't see like a huge separation between the other 3 guys. Kendrick Bourne or Troy Franklin, full PPR. This one's going to be close. I want to say I just updated my rankings, and I have Bourne above Troy. Yeah, pretty close. Wide receiver 36 to wide receiver 42. If Juwan doesn't play, then that's an auto Kendrick Bourne. Even with that, though, I do expect Kendrick Bourne to see a pretty high target floor here. So, yeah, I like Bourne here, just kind of riding the momentum. Though I don't hate Franklin either, because if we do see Sauce Gardner shadow Cortland Sutton for the entirety of the game, then we could see Troy Franklin with some easy layup type of targets. Greetings, Fannin or Tongas? That one's probably going to be close too. I wonder where I have Fannin. All right, so I got Fannin a little bit above Tongas here. Secondary's healthy, but I think that's a downgrade for the Cleveland wide receivers more so than the actual tight ends in this lineup. I got Fannin a little bit higher than Tongas here. Marvin Harrison Jr. or Michael Carter in the flex. Probably Harrison if I had to guess. They're probably really close though. Yep. Oh, okay. I got Carter 41, Marvin Harrison 42. I mean, I do think the Kyler injury is like maybe the problem here. It's sounding like he's probably trending towards playing, not a guaranteed thing. But if he is playing, from everything I've seen and everything I've gathered, he's going to be pretty limited, not as mobile as normal. And I do think that hurts a player like Kyler, obviously, who is prone to like getting out of the pocket and throwing the ball downfield. And that's where a lot of his passing yards end up happening. So, yeah, tiny lean towards Michael Carter. Nick, who do we flex? Ramondre Golden. Thanks, brother. I actually like really fuck with Ramondre this week. I think he's probably a little bit higher than Golden. Yeah, actually significantly higher. So I got Ramondre all the way at 50, Golden at 87. Love the matchup for the Saints. It's very clear that regardless of how many times he fumbles, they're not going away from him. Now with no Gibson, like that's the thing. If Gibson didn't get hurt, I'd be way more weary of Ramondre. But because Gibson got hurt, Ramondre's just going to have his role again, which is a 65% snap guy and getting all the goal line carries in a good matchup against the Saints. So I personally like Ramondre there. Dak or Knicks this week? They got to be close for me. Yeah, I got Dak as 10. I got Knicks at QB 12. I have Dak higher. His yardage prop is pretty significantly higher. I have him higher because I do think game script could get away from New York and the Broncos in terms of passing the ball a lot. This feels like a game plan where they're going to attack the Jets on the ground pretty significantly. Dak's playing like some of the best ball of his fucking career right now. Spicy one for you. PPR need one flex. Have either Chase Brown or Jaylen Warren, but they play Cleveland and Green Bay. Is it crazy to consider big white Jake Tongas in a pass-heavy game with no Kittle or Ricky? That's definitely too cute for me there. I'm not starting Tongas over. I mean, you got some big-ass balls. I mean, to be honest with you, Tongas is almost like the Chase Brown of tight ends right now. It's like you need a touchdown out of him for the most part, but Warren's probably going to be significantly higher than all these guys, yeah. I've got Warren up. Man, Vegas still kind of likes Chase Brown here. They got him at 44.5 rushing yards, 20.5 receiving yards, 3.5 receptions. But Warren pretty much tops and bests most of that, or at least closer. And yeah, I just like Warren more as a player right now than I do Brown. 12 teams standard full PPR. Those are two different things. Need a flex play between Romeo Doubs and Jameson Williams. Oh, I think I just moved Dobbs underneath Williams here. Really close, though. I wouldn't really blame you going either way. I think oh, no, I have Jameson Williams higher by a little bit. Wide receiver 32 to wide receiver 35. Vegas lines are fucking dead on to each other, 45.5 to 44.5. You just gotta imagine Jamo's eventually going to click for a big game. The environment here is beautiful, 52.5 over under. Like I said, this game could get away from Cincinnati quickly and them not really have to throw the ball more than 8 or 10 times in the second half. So maybe he scores a touchdown earlier on. It's really a floor versus ceiling thing for me. I would lean Jameson here though. Prime time. Okay. Holy shit. Rashad, Dowdle, Dobbins. I need 2. This is another ridiculously good problem to have here. I probably have... You didn't do a scoring type, so I can't really battle with you there. But yeah, I mean, I have Dowdle, RB10, Dobbins, RB14 because of the matchup, and then Rashad White, RB16. They're all great plays. All should have a ton of involvement with their team. All are favorites to score a touchdown. But yeah, I got Rico and J.K. Dobbins there. But Rashad White's a great play. Would love to get him in my lineup if I could. Need to Rome, Chase Brown, Shaheed. Yeah, I mean, Rome's obviously the one there. And then Chase versus Shaheed. I almost want to lean Shaheed there, But I'm a little bit intrigued by Chase Brown in his first start with Joe Flacco, who dumps off to the running backs pretty often. Christian Gonzalez is trending towards playing again. Shaheed had his big game last week. I kind of feel like he's anti-due now that he did that. So I got Chase Brown minorly here. Need one between Michael Carter, JCM, Chase Brown, Vidal. That's definitely going to be JCM for me. I need two between Ridley, DJ Moore, Jamar. That's going to be Jamar and DJ Moore for me. I need two between Golden, Ellick, Michael Carter. That would be Carter and Matthew Golden for me. I need two between Quentin or Jamar. Whoa, I think you flipped. Okay. Quentin or Jamar. I want to say I probably have Jamar ranked a little bit higher. Oh, nope. I got Quentin Johnson ranked 2 spots higher, probably because they're playing against Miami here. So, what else we got? Full PPR, I need 2 wide receivers, Calvin Ridley, Matthew Golden, or DJ Moore. Moore feels like he's probably the highest one here, coming off the bye. Really like the matchup against Washington. 49.5 points over under. Great game total here. And what was the other one? Ridley. Yep, we got DJ Moore and Calvin Ridley here. A lot of green across the board, though. Prime's back with another 72-player question. Let's see. I need 5 with at least 1 tight end with 4 flex spots. We got Warren, Kraft, Waller, Kincaid, JCM, Tucker, Bourne, Alik, Vidal, Haskins. So you need at least 1 tight end. So, I mean, at this point, Warren and Kraft, I feel like, need to be in there. That's 2. JCM is locked in for sure guy. I would probably wipe out Ellick, definitely. I would likely wipe out Vidal because I would play Haskins straight up over him. So those 2 are out. That leaves Waller, Kincaid, Trey Tucker, Kendrick Bourne, and Haskins. So we need 2 more out of those 2. If it's my lineup, if you need upside, I don't hate Trey Tucker, though it's hard to trust the Raiders offense right now. I'm going to assume this is full PPR. So I'm actually going to go with Waller as another flex and then Kendrick Bourne. Full PPR, need 1 flex, Michael Carter, Matthew Golden, Stephon Diggs. Yeah, I mean, I think at this point it probably has to be Diggs. Unless it's Michael Carter 4 spots ahead of him. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, ultimately it does have Michael Carter with 64 total yards and Stephon Diggs at 60.5 per Vegas. So I guess it makes sense to have them really, really close. I do think it's pretty tough to sit Stephon Diggs right now, but this is how I have the rankings. I would say if Kyler gets ruled out, I would probably flip Diggs over Michael Carter. So if that happens, right now Kyler is in the rankings. If he gets ruled out, if he gets taken out for tomorrow's game, I will, of course, update the rankings in real time as I always do, which you guys can always find the updated rankings on BDGE.co. If you're a Big Dog member, it's the only way to get my rankings there. You could sign up just raw through BDGE.co. The other way to get it, you can get it free for the next 10 months. I don't know why I said 10 months. 3 months if you deposit $10 or more on our partner, our main partner, MGM. Use the app, use the website, MGM, BetMGM, their sportsbook. Play any slip, $10 or more, with first time depositing $10. Use code BDGE, and you will get a promo code in-app to use on our website to get 3 months free of the Big Dog membership, all right? So if you need to decide between Michael Carter, if Kyler Murray gets ruled out, that is where you will find how I feel about it. Reckless, full PPR, need 1, Michael Carter, Matthew Golden, Stephon Diggs. I think I literally just answered that. Something wrong with me. Got DJ Moore, Ridley, and Troy Frank, 0 PPR, start 2. 0 PPR is disgusting. Yeah, I'd go with the first 2 then, DJ Moore and Ridley. Half PPR, we got flex, one of them, Dobbs, Shakir, Jennings, Ridley. That's going to be close for me. Yeah, we got Shakir as the top one again. I think I just like the game environment here the most. Josh Allen on, again, just indoors, like in a dome, just goes crazy. So big fan of Josh Allen and everything that surrounds him in this one. Should I start Romeo Dobbs or Kendrick Bourne? I have Kendrick Bourne ranked one spot below Romeo Dobbs. So pick your poison, flip a coin. I am not going to be able to predict that with certainty. Colts, Hawks, or Bills for the defense. Let me check this out right quick. I do not have their rankings uploaded into this website right now. What'd you say? You got the Colts. They're -7 at home. You have the Seahawks, who are... Why you gotta make this so fucking difficult? They are underdogs on the road, so they're going to be wiped out there. And then you got the Bills on the road, 4.5 points. Yeah, I think I'm going to take Indy there. Worried about the weather in Baltimore. Stick with Stafford or switch to Caleb. I don't hate the move there at all. I would be a little bit worried too. I might actually have... Yeah, I actually have I have Caleb ranked above. What the hell happened to Matt Stafford here? All right, well, he's quarterback 11. I don't know what happened to his lines here. Yeah, I mean, I have Caleb ranked above Matt Stafford. I think I've moved Matt Stafford down because of the weather. Full PPR. Do I start Mason Taylor or drop him to pick up Michael Mayer? I have Bowers, which has been frustrating. Yeah, I can imagine that. I mean, listen, Mayer's going to be a 1 week fill-in for you. And I don't know that you can guarantee getting Mason Taylor back. Like, I'd obviously rather have Mason Taylor rest of season than Michael Mayer. But you do have Bowers. Oh, you can either start one or the other for them. I want to say I have... It's got to be really close between those two. They have almost the exact same lines. I actually have Mayer ranked above Taylor this week. You got the travel. You've got the opponent with Denver who's allowing the 7th lowest EPA per pass to opponents. Their lines are strikingly similar. And Michael Mayer actually has a much better chance to score a touchdown here. So you know what? I guess because you have Bowers... Like, while in a, 1-for-1, click-for-click, I'd rather own Taylor, obviously, rest of the season than Mayer. But because you have Bowers, I guess Mayer might be the move here. Code Stain, how we doing? What's up, Coz? Bike to weeks, giving up 2026 twos for Keenan and Diggs. All right, then. Diggs versus New Orleans or Keenan at Miami this weekend. Yeah, I probably have them ranked really close to each other. Yeah, literally back-to-back, or not back-to-back, but two spots difference between each other. Diggs, 45 overall, Keenan Allen, 47 overall. Both good matchups. Keenan got a little bit of a better matchup, but obviously has a little bit more target competition there. So, yeah, I'm going to roll with the hot hand in Diggs here. Is Chuba Hubbard toast? Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about him for sure. I mean, the one league I have him in, I got Rico Dowdle, luckily. But I will say, for all the enjoyment that we are getting right now, owning Rico Dowdle, we are going to be experiencing equal hell on the back end when Chuba returns and having to decide between which of a backfield committee, 2 Carolina running backs on a team that's not going to fucking win many games. Yeah, that's going to suck. So just enjoy it while we have Rico in our lives right now. We've got Ridley or Henderson. Oh, I'm really surprised this is actually the first Henderson question that we've got. I think I still need to see it before I want him in my lineup here. It's easy to make the case for why this could be the game, but again, I just still think it's Ramondre's job, as the high percentage snap guy until he loses it. Of course, Trayvon's always liable to break a big play because of his speed, but I still think I need to see it before I put him in my lineup. Joe Davis, Kareem or Burden, or should we talk again about our boy Jay? I mean, I'd go Kareem there. There's definitely no guarantee that Burden fucking, plays anything more than 10 snaps a game. Kareem's the goal line guy there in a really high over-under game, so I'd go Kareem there. I can't wait for Jake Tongas to just have a massive day, and then you want to kill me. So, Beer, what's up, my friend? Start Lad or Golden as wide receiver 2? Definitely Lad. Lad. I mean, listen, if you got a gut feeling that Golden's going to break out, by all means, cool, go for it. And if you hit, you can come back here and tell me I'm the dumbest motherfucker you ever met. But there's no way if I got a lineup, I'm starting Golden over Lad. I'll just say that. Nico or Jefferson rest of the season? Give me Jefferson. Igbuka or Jamar? Trade thoughts? Someone offered me Chase. I would take Igbuka rest of season over Chase. Like, I have Jamar Chase on my big money league, and if Igbuka hit my inbox, I would I would likely lean Igbokwe there. Do you think Rome or Devontae Adams will regress at all as the year goes on? Not really. I mean, Rome's ran a little bit lucky with touchdowns, but he's also seeing a very high number of targets. And I actually only imagine this offense is going to get better and better as they get more acclimated with Ben Johnson's system and his offense. Adams has just been really solid. Like, I don't see a reason for him to regress. It doesn't feel like there's any numbers that have been like fluky. Stafford's playing amazing ball right now. So I don't really see heavy regression for either of these guys now. Full PPR. Would you trade Igbokwe and Henderson for Garrett Wilson and Bowers? My current tight end is Waller. Well, I think Waller is really legit, like, rest of season. He's not a guy that I feel like he's put up fluky production. I think he's going to continue to be like the number 2 target in that offense. So I don't really think you need the upgrade. That being said, I don't mind the trade. Like, I prefer Igbokwe to Garrett Wilson a tiny bit rest of season. But then I'd probably prefer Bowers to Henderson, I think. Depends on how much RB depth you have. Like, Henderson is definitely a guy I want to own rest of season. It's like an injury to Ramondre kind of like vaults him into an every week RB2. So I think it's a fair trade, but I'm not dying to pull the trigger on that. In a Superflex league, how good does a position player have to perform to justify playing them over a quarterback? I have Fields as my QB2, Harrison, Hubbard, Michael Carter, Addison, Ayuk as options. Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily how good does a position player have to play. It's more like Fields. Like, Fields doesn't feel like a guy you can sit because he's got upside that none of those guys simply have on a week-to-week basis. Like, Justin Fields, sure, he's had some flop games, but he's also had games where he's put up like 25, 27, 30 fantasy points. You're just not getting that from, Jordan Addison or Chuba Hubbard. So with that, it's less about, like, there are sometimes, like, I'm playing someone in your idiot league mates, Adam, who is likely not going to play a quarterback 2 in Superflex because it's Joe Flacco. And he's playing, I think, like J.K. Dobbins over him. So that, super understandable. So I really think the only time you're playing a position player over a quarterback is when your QB2 is like outside of the top 20 guys. Joe Davis, full PPR. Ellick, Juwan Johnstein, or Tyquan if Worthy is outs? Yeah, I kind of fuck with Tyquan if Worthy is out. Yeah, I would I'd probably put Juwan first. If Worthy is out, then Tyquan would be 1. But Juwan, Tyquan in that order. How would you rank these RBs rest of season? Saquon, Cook, Jacobs, Henry, and Judkins. I would probably have Cook as 1. Jacobs 2. I think Saquon 3. Maybe Judkins 4 and Henry 5. Thoughts on scat rest of season? Would you try to sell high? Nah, I'm finna hold on to a dude that just scored 3 tugs. Traded Adams for Dobbins back in week 2. How bad is that now? I mean, do you need me to make you feel better? Like, you've had Dobbins in your lineup. Like, you know how Dobbins has performed. He's been great. Bill, Jalen Warren, Coker, Maynard need RB2 in a flex. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Jalen Coker is going to play, and obviously you're not playing Maynard over Bill or Jalen Warren. I just traded for JK. Should I try to get RJ, or do you trust JK to keep that job? I don't hate the idea of trying to get RJ, but if you have to, like, pay up, anywhere near his draft price, then no, I don't see that as being a viable move for you. If you can give something that's not, like, overbearing to get RJ Harvey, then I'm fine with that. But otherwise, I don't think it's necessary. So I'm trying to think of what receivers you can give up right now to get RJ Harvey. That would make sense that you're not gonna, have to play. Like, if I'm you and I have, like, Juwan Jennings, I don't want to give him up for RJ Harvey. Or if I have, like, Calvin Ridley, I probably don't want to give him up for RJ Harvey either. So it's like, the only guys I want to give up, the RJ Harvey owner is probably not accepting that in a deal, John Lukey Pookie. Some nerve you have, not even giving me a good morning text today. You make me sick. You're making me sick. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, Rico Dowdle. All right. Well, we are 35 minutes in. It looks like the questions have wrapped up here. So we will wrap up early so everybody can get back on the couch with their fat asses and continue to watch college football. I'm about to go order a bacon, egg, and cheese and let that destroy my insides and outsides. As always, if you are watching this stream after the fact, I put these live after, but you can only be in the streams asking me these questions if you are a Big Dog member, BDGE.co, or deposit $10 on our partner, MGM. First-time depositors, play any slip, $10 or more, using code BDGE, and they will give you a free 3-month pass code to use on BDGE.co for the Big Dog membership. All right, I love you, Curly. I'll get your question real quick. I know these are close. PPR, Worthy, BTJ, and Flex, and Fan and Taylor at tight end. I've got, I think I have Taylor one spot ahead of Fannin, and then Worthy, BTJ. I think I like Worthy tiny bit more than BTJ because Detroit's backfield or Detroit's secondary is really banged up right now. No DJ Reed, no Terran Arnold right now. But yeah, really, really close. I think they're both actually good starts right now. Dobbs over Flowers this week with the matchup and better quarterback. I think I have Flowers ranked a little bit higher, but I would keep a close eye on weather reports going into Sunday. If we have a better read on what's going to happen in Baltimore, if we know that the weather is going to be shitty, then I'd probably lean Dobbs there. Join late. How are we feeling about starting Pacheco this week? Brother, if you're asking about Pacheco, that means you have started him in previous weeks and you know how to feel about him, which means you don't feel a good way about him. You know what to do, and it's not put him in your lineup. All right, I love y'all. Good luck in week 6. I will see you when I see you. Smoochies. Mwah.